So, Chan, president of the Philippines, was recently in the news. Want to take a random guess as to why?
Philippines. Random guess.
I'll give you a bit of a clue. It's COVID
Yeah.
related.
No, no idea then. Good fucking. Let me know.
Rodrigo has said that he will jail people who refuse COVID vaccinations as the country battles one of Asia's worst outbreaks. Speaking in
Oh,
a
wow.
televised address on Monday, he said, "You choose vaccine or I will have you jailed." He later gave his reasoning, saying, "If you are a person who is not vaccinated, you are a potential carrier." The announcement comes after a number of cases of coronavirus in the Philippines hits a total of more than 1.3 million cases and 23,000 deaths. Meanwhile, there have been reports of low turnouts in several vaccination centers in the country's capital. Yeah, so
My
the
question
remarks
would.
basically go against health officials who state it shouldn't be compulsory. Don't get me wrong, there is a crisis in this country. I'm just exacerbated.
Do they have to pay for the vaccination?
Well, if it's mandatory, I hope not.
Yeah. Like, because that being forced to go to jail without getting that's pretty fucked.
Yeah, and I could only imagine what Filipino jails are probably like. So,
I
yeah, how fucking messed up is this, man? To basically say if you don't get it, we're putting you in jail. Like this is what I've been saying for ages, man. This is true fucking totalitarianship starting to pop up. This is you do it or we imprison you.
But where'd you say it was? Malaysia, Singapore,
Philippines.
Philippines. Yeah, I honestly
Don't get
don't
me
know
wrong.
much
It's a
about
lot of
their.
cases and it's a lot of deaths. But
Yes. Yeah.
like previously stated, I'm just so pro choice of people that to state that you have to do this or we're going to imprison you just seems like such a grievous fucking mishandling of human fucking liberty.
Um, what's their population?
1 second. 108 million. So about a quarter of the country has had COVID or has COVID
And
since the
that's a pretty
start. I
good
assume
chunk, to
that's
be
since the
honest.
start of COVID.
Mm, yeah, but it's like at the same time, like I fully agree with you with that choice thing because my partner, she sent me a fucking link to Western Australia's like get vaccinated thing, and I was just like, I'll pass comfortably, casually, I'll pass. And so yeah, I'm all about that free choice. But then at the same time, if your population, like if you're in the what is it, the president's boots, and your population is just getting stanked because they ain't listening, like you're not left with many choices.
It's let's have a look at what the so was it
But again, it
20?
depends how they're handling the actual healthcare, the care side of it. Especially as somebody who's played a lot of city builder survival video games where you got to manage your population and its resources in depth with currency and fucking political views, religious views, depending on the game, and other games like Plague Inc., where you run the virus, all that shit. It's like
Yeah.
there's definitely a fine line where you gotta be like, fuck your free will, but at the same time, I'm pro free will.
1.3 million cases. Sorry. So what's that's like fucking just about 1% of the population has had COVID.
COVID, yeah.
And then so wait.
And it's like, are they following
So we're looking
your
and then we're looking
standard?
at about 2% of that total has died.
Yeah.
So 1% of them have had it and 2% of the people that have had it have died from it.
hmm
So
And
it's sort of like, okay, now that we break the numbers down like that, is that worth saying get it or get imprisoned?
yeah, and it definitely is much less than saying a quarter of them.
Yeah, for sure, for
Um,
sure. Obviously. Wild.
and it comes down and it's like, are they actually following a hygiene
Yeah,
process?
well, Being the Philippines,
And
who knows?
are they following your actual COVID guidelines, like the 1.5 meters, the fucking hand sanitizer, washing, fucking, masks when you're in public, all that shit?
Dude, go onto Google Images and just type in Philippine prison. Every picture is literally just pictures of dudes laying on top of each other, basically on a floor.
Yeah, and the good
Because of
ones,
this
they're
corona
sitting.
shit. I'm pretty sure. Free nearly 10,000 inmates they freed a heap of inmates as coronavirus hit. So that's all good. They're just threatening to put the boys they already released back in prison. Fucking dumb cunts. Oh my god.
Wow,
Oh my
that
god. Just release a
changes a
bunch of
little
fucking
bit.
criminals just because they might die in a already probably horrible prison.
but then, what a middle-aged Sue running a little cafe in the street gets fucking thrown in prison because she didn't get a vaccine.
It
But
definitely
the
seems
prisoner's still on the loose because he got his vaccine.
it definitely seems a bit fucking rough that they're just trying to force their civvies to
Wow.
get this shit. Uh those now these types of ones, it's like, yeah, they're probably trying to do a euthanasia type fucking setup with the amount of boys that they got in such a fucking small landmass.
Yeah. And this is going to be an uneducated opinion, just an assumption
Mm.
on given looking at these pictures. But I think the prisoners themselves would probably condemn brawling, fighting, because of just how fucking packed it is. And by the looks of some of the photographs, some of the prisons, they just don't have the energy for it.
Yeah, they'd probably get fed fuck all.
And it'd be hot and fucking
Humid as fuck,
sticky.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
A fucking radical decision.
yeah,
I
it's
expected that from China.
yeah, man. Probably already dealt with it by just killing everyone that it got to, and then fucking making sure they just fucking bleached those streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd hate to be Filipino right now, though. Imagine that. So the
Mhm.
Australian government turn it around, they just like get the vaccine or get jailed. Yeah, I don't know.
Eureka flag!
Yeah, I think that would happen pretty goddamn quickly. That's a shame. It's a shame to see. Guarantee, I don't think that this will be the last country that'll end up doing something like this, where they just blatantly force their civvies to get it.
And not gonna lie, given the year that it is, a revolt from the people would be a lot easier and a lot more severe nowadays.
Yeah, it'd be pretty intense. It would have to, depending on how many farmers we had on our sides and shit, there's still so many guns that would be available for civvies that it would be a
Farmers,
decent fight.
labour workers, and then you go up to your uh, bikie gangs and shit, and then you'd be like, guys, proposition. And we all know what the bikies think of the government,
Oh yeah, man. Wouldn't
and we
surprise
all
me
know
if all the
the
bikies are
connections
just
they
like,
have.
yeah, fuck that. Because most bikies probably have that attitude of just like, there's no fucking way I'm getting this vaccine.
Yup. And there's no way I'm going to jail just for not choosing it.
I will see. We'll see what happens from it. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they have a fair bit of pushback.
Oh no, sorry. We got to consider it's also 2021. People are just going to protest, man.
Fuck. But anyway, so fucking
Crazy.
yeah. Let's talk about this video. Friendly Geordies. Seen a few of his videos, but never really, you know,
Watched.
subscribed to him or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so fucking apparently one of his producers was arrested. Did you watch the whole vid, Cham?
I believe I watched all of it, or maybe I stopped watching with like a minute or two left. I'm not sure.
So yeah, they basically fucking in the video he sees mum recording, and yeah, they just fucking bust in and fucking start arresting him, pull him out, and then when he tries to give his phone over to the mum, they just get real rough, and she
That's
accidentally
what
gets knocked over, and they're screaming you're trying to give over evidence and shit like that.
It might be because I was sitting outside when I was watching it, so I did have a bit of glare. When the scuffle occurs, when he tries to hand it to his mum and the whole trip over
Yeah.
happens, I didn't really see much, and I'm not sure if you can see much
Yeah,
because
it's
the camera
definitely a
is.
bit hard. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah, cool. Just clarifying that it was difficult to see.
But yeah, fucking yeah, and apparently like not even standard copper boys. This is fucking anti-terrorist group
Y-
and all this shit over the fact that he's apparently fucking harassing this fucking political boy, this MP or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, and he
It,
doesn't even harass at all.
it's
Trying to do
just
his job.
man, like this is exactly what I'm fucking been saying. These cops in Australia are turning into the Gestapo.
Yeah, slowly,
They're fucking.
slowly.
They're any journos that have got a fucking negative opinion over these MPs. They're just going and threatening them, and fucking yeah. It's getting fucking bad. Like it's been happening in Melbourne, fucking with Arvey and shit like that, and now this is happening.
Eh, And what really got me too was when the mother mentions about him pushing her
Yeah,
or
yeah,
tackling her, whatever. And he comes back and he's just like, I did not. I did not. It's like, are you going to explain your side of it or are you just going to keep saying, I did not? Because
yeah,
there's a camera there. Like,
man.
stop resisting, stop resisting. You're just trained to repeat something over and over and over.
I hope
It's like,
these cunts get their fucking pantsuit off, eh? Like,
yeah, man, the
something needs to
fucking
fucking happen. These cunts need to be held
anti
liable.
terrorist group fucking pulling this guy out of his home. Like, the
It's
couple
just,
boys should have been dealing with that.
oh man, like yeah, this is only gonna happen so many times before we're gonna have to actually fucking do something about it. Because yeah, there's no way we can let the fucking government just continue to get away with this shit if this is how they're gonna start treating their civvies. Want to start
Yeah,
fucking treating us like fucking these are a bunch of Nazis? Then we're gonna have to fucking treat yous like yous are Nazis.
yeah, and honestly, you just reminded me of a thing. Did you hear of um, Nick Patterson?
You don't know.
There should be a few little videos on YouTube of his unlawful arrest,
Yeah,
quotation marks. Pretty much Copper Boys Melbourne out in force
yeah.
during lockdown.
Was this the one where they busted into his house and he's recording from above?
No,
Nah,
no.
okay, it's a different one.
This is a guy I got on Facebook. The guy I did my security course with. It's one of his friends.
Yeah,
They apparently exercising their rights. They're pretty much acting like Americans, but they're walking in a group without their masks on,
yeah, yeah,
but they're all roughly a meter and a bit from each other, so they're keeping to that guidelines. And they come past a fucking giant group of cops that were they
yeah,
were doing something.
yeah,
There was something for protesters, I
yeah.
think, or
Anti
patrol.
lockdown. Yeah,
Yeah, and then this one copper boy comes up and pretty much starts trying to talk to this Nick Patterson guy,
yeah,
but at the same time being like, "Where's your mask? You can't have your mask." Blah 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 blah, and talking about how he can arrest him and stuff.
yeah,
But Nick, he knows all about his fucking law. Like
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah,
can cite his fucking numbers and the year and all that shit. And yeah, he's like, no, you can't. Blah blah blah. I can do this, and then he's like, I have an exemption. Then the guy's like, okay, show me your exemption. And he's like, I don't need to show you my exemption. He's like, you just need to know that I got one.
yeah,
And then they proceed on, and then he's like, and also, what about all these people behind me? Like, because he's walking in a group of other people, and he's
yeah,
like, I'm not talking to them, I'm talking to you.
yeah. Of
But they're
course.
all doing the exact same thing.
Yeah,
But then, obviously, as they get to where there's more cops, obviously the other cops come in because it's quite a heated discussion.
yeah,
And yeah, they almost surround him,
yeah.
and they're sitting there full on having a go, and then he's reciting the fucking acts and stuff, and he's like, "You're a cop, you should know your fucking law. Why am I one standing here educating you?" Going on, and he's like, "Get your bloody superior here, so I can actually have a conversation with
Yeah, I
somebody that
reckon I've
knows the
seen
law."
this video. I reckon,
Yeah,
as you're saying, it's definitely
and yeah, he goes on for a bit, and then they get told to move along, so
yeah,
they get an actual official move along order, and that was obviously within rights, and so they're like, all right, yeah, off they go, and then they're like, we came done what we needed to do, like
yeah,
exercise their rights,
yeah, for
and
sure.
because they were filming, being like trying to tell their viewers, know your rights because these guys are trying to dog you,
Yeah,
and yeah, they start to disperse and stuff, and then the guy filming, you can see the cops. They follow in a massive, massive train of them, like fucking 12. They start jogging at a jogging pace, and they're trying to cut us off. And then horses coming and everything like that. But because they're already starting to
yeah,
disperse, they're just trying to cut certain groups of people off. And then yeah, you see Nick up front. Apparently, they start tuffling the guy with the camera. He's a bit of a distance away, and yeah, apparently they all of them were like fucking giving him one, like hitting him and stuff, and they beat him and arrest him and all this
yeah.
shit, and then they had nothing to hold him on, so they let him go,
They let him go, of
fucking
course.
after holding him as long as he
Of
could.
course, of course. There was also, I don't know if you remember the chick in Melbourne that got arrested because she was organizing the anti-lockdown protests. They came to her house and arrested her. She was pregnant and shit like that.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear that.
Yep, fucking. And then, like I said, Avi, he got harassed when he was down there trying to fucking, when he was talking without his mask on. And they're like, put your mask on. He's like, I don't need to. I'm media. And fucking, yeah. And then the cops are just like, no, it's only fucking designated. Like, you got to be on a list of
Designated
media. You
media.
got to, yeah. And he's just like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, fucking, it just shows you that the governments have got certain media stations that are fine and others that aren't. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been happening a fair bit. So it's gonna get to it's gonna get to a fucking boiling point eventually, and we'll Eureka flag that bitch up again. We'll fucking
Yeah.
march on Canberra and fucking sit out the front, start building a fucking stockade out the front of Canberra.
Oh no, but we got to create a new flag because remember the Eureka flag's a fucking Nazi flag now, apparently.
Real quick little fucking update for you, man.
Mm.
They edited that article to redact that part.
Mm.
Yeah. I was grabbing when I was editing before, I was grabbing the article to fucking to get the pictures from it. And when I was looking down the bottom, they had their little editor notes, and it's like a part was removed from this that stated that the Eureka flag was associated with communism and fucking radical political groups and shit like that. I was just like, "Ooh, you cheeky motherfuckers!" Now that the article is obviously nobody's really gonna go read it because the hype of it's probably over. Now you
Mm-hmm.
just redact it, but yeah, it's
So
just
be like, we never said that.
it's
Wow.
fucking absolutely disgusting. But yeah, these Gestapo police, man, they're getting bad. They're getting bad, dude.
Yeah, slowly.
Fucking, I'm tempted to fucking make up some fucking Nazi armbands and walk into the cop shop, just fucking record, just start hand. I just be like, yeah, I got your armband, sweet guys. Here you go, and just see what their fucking face expression is.
I honestly reckon that just the first thing that would come out will be just get
Yeah, probably straight away I
out.
would just be like, "Yep, get out."
Just
And
get
I'll
out.
just keep pushing them. I'd just be like, "Oh, what does you want your armbands?" Yeah. And I'd probably start
So,
getting angry at him.
so if you don't have a crime to report, get
I do have a
out.
crime to report. A fucking goddamn dictatorship of a
Corruption.
government.
I mean, not yet, but close. I mean, like we're not North Korea. Like,
Yeah. How long though? How long, Dip?
no idea. Hopefully never.
Mm.
We just gotta wield it. Old lady Yaga's fucking wrong, and
She's not there. That's the scary part. We're gonna be going to fucking war with China soon.
yeah. But the next part of that is the whole world becomes communism.
Yeah, it's a very real but terrifying concept, isn't it? So, I'll just read out that original fucking comment just so you can remember exactly what the dickhead said.
Roger.
So, the CDC is a whole governmental body with scientists and shit that just tell us what to do. You don't have to think about it. Anyway, so Crowder fucking gave him shit, like, talking about it on one of his fucking morning shows. And then
Mhm.
he, like, him and Ethan tried to claim that fucking Crowder reached out and fucking whatnot, but he didn't. Anyway, Crowder was like, let's actually set it up. And fucking, so they set it up. Crowder went on, like, they organized the fucking the interview. And here's the real dog part, right? So the audio that Ethan released, I'm just not even going to talk about it because it's just the way that they edited it. Of course,
Mhm.
Crowder released the master. So from the very start, when he sat down and started talking, to when they fucking like ended like talking to them. So the stipulation through pre like messaging was that it was going to be Stephen, only Stephen, and Ethan, only Ethan, talking about arguing the whole fucking CDC point and just sort of talking about COVID and whatnot and just arguing and expressing their feelings on it. Ethan agreed to it, and then fucking so they do the test. Crowder's sitting there. They eventually connect up. Ethan starts chatting to Crowder, and he's just like starts having a bit of a sort of just general conversation because they're not filming yet or anything like that as far as Ethan's concerned. And Ethan's like asking Crowder about his missus because he heard that his missus had gone to hospital and she's pregnant with twins at the moment and shit. And
Mhm.
like fucking really having just like a man to man conversation about
Yeah,
shit. And
just
they,
general. Yeah.
like Crowder's like, yeah, I heard you got two, like you got one and another one coming. Congratulations and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's just like casual conversation. And then they're like, all right, so you're fucking ready. And then Crowder's just like, does his introduction. He's just like, all right, we're here with Ethan. Like, we invited him on, And then Ethan immediately is just like, hey, Steven, did you know that the Spartans used to engage in like sexual relations with minors? And then Crowder's just like, what are you talking? And sorry, just to interrupt, like myself. Prior to them hooking the mics up, Crowder had gone, I bet she's going to try to do anything to get out of this. Bet she's going to like have somebody else sitting there to come on or something like that. So then, yeah. And then Ethan's just, after he says the fucking Spartan thing, Crowder's like, I knew you were going to do this. Like, I already said it. You were going to fucking try to pull out. And then all of a sudden, this other dickhead pops up and fucking, his name's like Sam Seidler. He's got a YouTube channel himself. He's got
Okay.
1 million subscribers, but apparently he only gets like 15,000 views on his videos and shit. So he doesn't actually have much of his fucking audience actually watching his shit.
Mhm.
But so I've never watched his content, but from what I've heard and from what they said immediately, this guy's a dickhead that nobody really wants to talk to. Nobody's got the time of day for him. Like Rogan, fucking Shapiro, fucking shit, what's his name? Fucking fuck, can't think of his name at the moment. The professor dude, he got fired from his job in fucking Canada. Something Patterson. I can't think of his fucking first name at the moment. He
Mm.
wrote multiple books. He came out and said that he refused to fucking like say any other gender other than male and female and whatnot. Then he ended up getting fired. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, fucking so like none of these guys want to have the time of day for this cunt because he's apparently just a dickhead when it comes to arguing and like a bit of a snake. And so Crowder's just like immediately starts fucking getting up, but he fucking Dave Landau, Crowder's like sort of side man that's always on the
Mhm.
podcast as well. He immediately comes in and starts just like getting up on him as well. They're all of them just start fucking getting shitty. Fucking Ethan's just sitting in the background, not saying shit. Every once in a while, he'll just try to get in this little jab. Like one of his jabs, he turns around to fucking Crowder, and he's just like, "You're wearing a gun holster, man." And Crowder's just like, "So what? I'm trying to fucking like advertise safe gun handling and whatnot." But fucking yeah, like Ethan just in my opinion, these like that cunt has a fucking he's got no spine. It's just pure jelly.
Mm.
Gutless, childish cunt to turn around and agree to a fucking debate under certain stipulations and then to just completely fucking throw them out the door, surprise Crowder by bringing some other dickhead on that has wanted to have a fucking talk with Crowder before, but Crowder's stated, no, I don't have the time and day for him.
Wow, I just dogged him completely.
And fucking, but what got me a bit shitty about Crowder is, in my opinion, he should have stayed there and just fucking gave it to them. And like they gave it to him for a bit, and fucking started just like making jokes and shit like that at him. But then eventually they're like, yeah, no, we're done. Like we don't have time for this. This wasn't how it was meant to be. So fucking yeah,
We're leaving.
laters.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they
Fucking hell.
fucking jump off, on Ethan's version, immediately just cuts to all their boys and all that laughing like, oh, we got him, and shit like that. Just being absolute dickheads, thinking they somehow got one over on him for being fucking deceptive dickwads.
Yeah, not doing what they said they were gonna do.
So yeah, and like I said, I'm disappointed in
Fucking
Crowder because
childish, yeah.
I wish Crowder had just gone at Ethan fucking hard, and they did to a certain degree. Like they were like called him out for fucking using like mental illness as a way to get views and shit. Because one of the chicks, fucking Trisha Paytas, was like on Ethan's show, and she's got like a lot of mental problems, and Ethan basically just fucking used and abused it for videos, pretty much. But
That's
yeah,
fucked.
the worst thing about Ethan is he got his uppance from being an edgy fucking anti-leftist and calling out fucking that sort of bullshit, making light of it, making videos of it. But then all of a sudden, now that fucking that sort of content isn't really allowed on fucking YouTube, and he got a warning for it, all of a sudden he fucking just completely turned his tail, and now he just does his podcast where he just has turned into a massive leftist dickhead. It's like, oh, it's fucked. But
Yeah.
like, there's nothing you
Well,
can do
yeah.
about it. Like, immediately, I
Yeah.
just jumped on there and like on his video, and I was just like, yeah, fucking. My first one was just like, yeah, you're a spineless cunt, something like that. And then fucking, I was just like, fucking, have fun raising Keemstar's kids, you fucking. Yeah, because there was a whole rumor that his kid was Keemstar's or something like that. And that comment got deleted pretty quickly. Somebody deleted it. But then, yeah, I
Okay.
was just like, fucking, yeah. My last comment I left was just like, Ethan, H3, you're the type of cunt that would fucking pull a knife in an organized fist fight. Like, you're that type of
Yeah.
bitch that would hide behind somebody. Fucking, I'm just like, yeah, fucking.
He'd
Organi-
organize a one-on-one, then 3 other guys would come out.
He's just absolute trash. Absolute trash. And like we know,
Yeah,
fucking
little snake.
Crowder is a debater when he's got some time to prepare. He needs to know what he's arguing, but that's fair. Like that's the appropriate way to do it. Make sure
Yeah,
you
that's a
actually
debate.
understand why you're arguing.
That's the difference
So
between a debate and a fucking random argument. Like,
that's it. So yeah, it's fucking. It was disappointing to say the least because I was hoping for an actual decent debate. I was hoping that fucking Crowder would just make Ethan look like a dickhead. But the funniest thing is, Ethan already made himself look like a dickhead because he basically admitted to being so retarded that there was no way he could actually have the debate with Crowder, and that he had to have fucking this Sam Seidler cunt on. And then they're all sitting there laughing about it.
why?
But this Sam Seidler cunt doesn't realize that he's the butt end of the joke because, they got him by having Sam Seidler come in. Like, fucking.
Yeah. He thinks he's in on the joke rather than.
But he is literally the joke. It's so fucking frustrating to see, man. I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
expect a
yeah.
good old fashioned fucking debate from
Debate,
Crowder and
and then you
H3.
get some little childish fucking pranked you.
Yeah, basically.
That's, yeah, kind of annoying.
It's like getting blue balls, man, basically. Like, I'm expecting a fucking nice, either tearing apart or a semi decent debate or something. But instead, it's just a fucking bunch of retard lefties just thinking that they're fucking getting one up over people.
And then all just having a big argument. Like, it sounds horrible to be honest. Glad I missed it.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, there's a good, like, minute or two of just, like, all four of them basically trying to talk over each other, and it's just horrible.
That's what I was imagining. Yeah, there's nothing worse. It's just like taking turns, can't.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Like, obviously, Ethan really wasn't saying much. Fucking Sam's in there trying to be like, oh, why won't you have a conversation with me? Are you scared to talk to me? Like, just because I know my facts and stuff. And Crowder's there, like, sort of starts off semi-cash, but then you can tell he starts getting more and more annoyed because he set this all up properly, took the time and day to fucking put, like, actually organize, like, set it up and to fucking do the
Go there,
debate.
do it. Yeah.
And then H3 just acts like it's fucking something to laugh over, or because he knows he's too retarded to actually argue the point. And it's like he's like, I don't know the points to argue, but it's like, but you have the opinion that the CDC should be just listened to willy nilly rather than actually doing research and making up your own mind about stuff. So how can you
Hey,
not argue that point? Are you just that retarded that that's just how you think it should be?
yeah, like you'd
Like you
think you'd
should
say something
just
about
listen to the
because they're
authorities.
scientists and they've gone through doing the research, the
That's
publishing of the
exactly.
papers or
Like
something
even
like
though
that.
that's
But
a
no,
fucking argument as good as Swiss cheese.
yeah, but at the same time, like
It's still
he
some
didn't.
argument that he
Yeah,
could
it's an
throw forth.
argument. Like he didn't have anything.
But nah, instead he was just like, oh, this he's some other fucking dickhead.
Yeah, time wasted
Yep, 100%, 100%. I hope
on
one,
everybody's fucking account.
yeah. I hope one day he looks back at it and realizes how much of a d bag he was and how fucking retarded he sounded. But I figured he won't. Yeah, I was telling Brados about this the other day. I don't know if you know about this or not, right? Because of this dude that I've been watching. He just does all fucking true stories and shit. The one how I found him was like 3 places people were told not to go but went anyway, and died
Yeah, okay.
most of the time. But yeah, fucking So get this right. You know what coconut crabs are? You ever seen a coconut crab?
Yeah, the big motherfucker.
Big ass
Yeah,
motherfuckers, and named coconut crabs because they can fucking crush coconuts with their claws and they eat the
yeah,
coconuts. Did you know those fuckers also climb trees
yeah.
and kill seagulls?
I didn't know they kill seagulls.
They
No.
will kill seagulls and then pull them down, and then heaps of them will just start destroying the seagull and fucking killing it, and they eat it, right?
Mhm.
So apparently, coconut crabs are quite fucking bloodthirsty. I had no idea about this. I always knew they're big ass motherfucking crabs, and
Mhm.
coconut crab. They're clearly
And
capable of climbing the trees to get the coconuts, but at some point in
yeah.
time, they've decided to go, oh, that thing, I'm gonna eat that. But
Yeah, I didn't know that.
anyway, tangential to that, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So Amelia Earhart, right? She obviously trying to circumnavigate the globe and fucking eventually disappeared. And
Yeah,
did
yeah,
you
yeah.
did you ever hear about how they found the bones on the island, but they were examined and then they were dismissed as not being hers because the examiners were like, yeah, nah, looking
Mhm.
at them. Apparently, they were re-looked at many years later, and other people had actually gone, no, they actually measure up to be appropriately sized for
Hers.
Amelia, right?
Mhm.
And this island's called Niku Island, right?
Mhm.
No, nothing else on this island. All they found was this like small campsite, these bones, and then when they went back there years later, they found some jars of freckle cream. And apparently, Amelia Earhart was very well known for using this freckle cream to cover up
Mhm.
her freckles because she had freckles. So that adds to this sort of fucking, possibility that it is Amelia, right? But here's the thing: when they found the bones, they were scattered across the island. Not across the island, but across like this small part of the beach. And
Mm.
the reason why nobody inhabits this island is because at night, thousands of coconut crabs come out from their burrows and go up onto the beach.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
And they're
most
bloodthirsty.
likely, Amelia Earhart survived the plane crash. Her partner, who was in the plane too, didn't. She
Mhm.
managed to get up onto this fucking beach on this island, managed to survive forever, like for however long, and then probably got devoured by coconut crabs.
Crabs. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds fucking very likely if that would be her shit. Like, that would be a nasty way to go.
Yeah, how much? Because she's probably already pretty fucked up from the plane crash, potentially. Like, maybe broken
Yeah,
limbs, quite
yep.
sore. Set up
Something
the camp, being like,
fractured.
all right,
Yeah.
it's time to fucking get set in until like somebody will come looking for me, hopefully.
Yeah, they know I left.
And
Like,
fucking, whether who knows how long she survived for. might not have been that long. Could have only been that night, like the first night she was there. But however long it took, yeah,
Yeah,
most
because
likely. And like you couldn't even get up any of the trees on the island. The island is quite small. Like it's not a very fucking large island. It's like 700 meters
and they'd
long.
still climb up and slowly
That's it. Even if you
try
climbed
to
a
grab
tree,
that.
they would just
Yeah.
climb up after you because apparently they could smell the blood. So as soon as they smell that blood,
So
it's just done.
you would have to just fight your way